Jana Duggar expecting her first twin baby, a Duggar family miracle. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. It's the kind of news fans have been waiting years to hear, and it's finally happening. Jana Duggar, the eldest daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, is reportedly expecting her first child, and it's twins. Yes, you heard that right. The once famously single Duggar girl has stepped into a brand new chapter of her life, hand in hand with her husband Stephen Wissmann. And now, they're preparing to become parents not to one, but to two precious little blessings. But this story isn't just about pregnancy. It's about patience, faith, and a woman who walked a very different path from her famous siblings. The longest wait in the Duggar house. For years, Jana Duggar was known as the Cinderella of the family, the responsible, quiet older sister who took care of her younger siblings while others got married, one after another. Fans often called her the eldest daughter still at home. She was 31, then 32, and even 33, and yet she remained single while nearly every Duggar sister had tied the knot and started families of their own. Many viewers of 19 Kids and Counting On wondered, why isn't Jana married yet? Speculations were endless. Was she too picky, too focused on family, or simply uninterested in marriage? Jana herself always answered gracefully. She once said in an interview, "I'm not waiting for perfection. I just haven't met the right one yet." That line became legendary among Duggar fans, a symbol of independence in a family where early marriage was almost expected. Meeting Stephen Wissmann, a connection beyond fame. Then came Stephen Wissmann, a name that quietly entered the Duggar universe around late 2020. The Wissmann family, based in Nebraska, was very similar to the Duggars: large, musical, faith-driven, and deeply traditional. Stephen himself was known as a pilot, musician, and a man with strong Christian values. Rumors of a courtship between Jana and Stephen began to swirl after fans spotted her visiting Nebraska multiple times. She was seen at Wissmann family gatherings, Christmas events, and even flying with Stephen's family for church programs. By 2021, it was nearly confirmed Jana and Stephen were together. But unlike her siblings, Jana kept things private. No public engagement photos, no TLC specials, no fanfare, just quiet smiles, subtle mentions, and a simple ring that fans noticed in one of her rare Instagram posts. The secret wedding that shocked the internet. Fast forward to early 2023. While fans were busy following Jill and Jess's public lives, something incredible happened behind the scenes. Jana Duggar got married in a private ceremony in Nebraska. The event was intimate, less than 100 guests, only family and close friends. It took place at the Wissmann family's beautiful countryside property. Sources say the ceremony was decorated with white roses and rustic wooden details, reflecting Jana's calm and elegant personality. Michelle Duggar was seen teary-eyed, while Jim Bob gave an emotional father of the bride speech about trusting God's timing. Jana and Jill couldn't attend due to travel issues, but they sent heartfelt video messages, saying, "Jana waited for her moment, and now it's finally here." After the ceremony, the couple took off for a honeymoon in Europe, away from cameras, drama, and social media. They spent 3 weeks exploring Switzerland, France, and Italy before settling back in Nebraska. Life after marriage, a new start. After marriage, Jana took a break from public life. She deactivated her main Instagram account, choosing instead to focus on her new home, her husband, and the quiet peace she had long desired. While most Duggar daughters lived close to Arkansas, Jana fully embraced Nebraska life. She helped Stephen with his aviation business, volunteered at local community events, and started a small home decor business under a private LLC. Many fans felt it was the life Jana had always dreamed of: simple, beautiful, and free from media chaos. Then, in mid-2025, whispers began again. The pregnancy rumors began in early September 2025. Fans noticed something different in a photo posted by one of the Wissmann sisters. The picture showed the whole family celebrating a Sunday dinner, and right there, beside Stephen, was Jana, glowing with what fans called a baby bump. At first, people thought it was just speculation, until a few weeks later, another family member posted a video of a church event. In that clip, Jana was clearly pregnant and smiling brighter than ever. that's when an insider confirmed yes, Jana is pregnant, and it's twins. She and Steven are absolutely overjoyed. The Duggar fandom exploded online. After all, this was the woman who had been labeled the spinster of the family, now about to become a mother of twins. The family's reaction. The Duggar family's reaction was nothing short of emotional. Michelle Duggar reportedly broke down in tears when she found out. She told friends that it felt like God's double blessing after a long wait. Jim Bob, too, was thrilled. He told local friends that Jana has always been a gift, and now God is blessing her with two of her own. Even siblings who had long drifted apart came together to celebrate. Jessa commented on a private family chat group. "Can you believe it? Jana with twins. She's going to be the most patient mom ever." Meanwhile, Jill, who had her own complicated relationship with her parents, sent a loving message saying, "You deserve this happiness, Jana. You've always been there for us. Now it's your time." Stephen Wissmann's pure joy. Stephen Wissmann's joy was described as overflowing. In one family blog post, his sister wrote, "Stephen can't stop smiling. He's always dreamed of being a dad, and now it's happening. Double the joy, double the love." Friends said he's been reading twin parenting books, fixing up a nursery with 2 cribs, and spending every weekend with Jana preparing the home for the babies. He also reportedly said in church, "I thank God every day for Jana. Her faith taught me patience and purpose. Now, as we prepare to become parents, I just pray I can be the kind of husband and father she always dreamed of." The gender reveal party on a warm Sunday afternoon. The Wissmann family hosted a gender reveal party, private, family only, but full of laughter. Guests were invited to wear pink or blue. Balloons, cupcakes, and rustic decorations filled the lawn. Stephen stood beside Jana, his hand on her belly, as everyone counted down. When the smoke cannons burst, one pink, one blue, the crowd erupted in joy. Yes, one girl and one boy. The Wissmanns and Duggars together shouted, cried, and hugged. Michelle whispered to Jana, "A daughter and a son, just like your dad and me." The couple decided to keep the names private for now, but fans speculate they might choose classic, biblical names. Much like the rest of the family tradition, adjusting to motherhood and marriage. While Jana's journey to motherhood is still unfolding, insiders say she's glowing with peace and purpose. She's been attending prenatal classes, gardening, cooking for her husband, and spending quiet evenings reading devotionals. A friend close to her told a Christian women's magazine Jana always had a mother's heart. She raised her siblings. Now she finally gets to use that love for her own children. The couple reportedly plans to raise their twins in Nebraska, away from the cameras and chaos of reality TV. They've already discussed homeschooling and building a small, faith-filled life rooted in simplicity. Fans react. The internet is overwhelmed. The internet's reaction was pure joy. Fans flooded Duggar-related pages with messages like, "Finally, Jana gets her happy ending. God's timing is perfect after years of waiting. Double blessings, that's divine." Even critics of the Duggar family said they felt genuine happiness for Jana, admiring her quiet strength and her decision to live life on her own terms. One fan wrote on Reddit, "She stayed true to herself, waited for love, and now she's getting everything she prayed for." This is what peace looks like, healing the Duggar family divide. For years, the Duggar family had been divided, especially after scandals involving Josh Duggar and the family's public fallout. But Jana's pregnancy has, in many ways, become a bridge. Her gentle spirit and humility have brought everyone closer again. Siblings who hadn't spoken in years reconnected through calls and video chats. Even Jill, who had distanced herself, joined a private group call to congratulate Jana personally. It was a quiet but powerful healing moment, something that reminded everyone of the importance of love over conflict, a message of faith and patience. If there's one lesson Jana's story teaches, it's this: faithful waiting is never wasted. Jana didn't rush. She didn't settle. She trusted God's timing, even when it looked like everyone else had moved on. Her story is now being shared in Christian women's groups as an example of God's perfect timing. Many have even called her journey the modern-day Ruth story, a woman who chose patience and was rewarded with love and family in God's time. Preparing for birth. The final weeks as Jana enters her 3rd trimester. the couple has slowed down their schedules. Stephen has temporarily reduced his flying hours to stay close to home. Their home nursery, according to a family friend, is painted in soft cream tones with wooden furniture and embroidered Bible verses on the wall. One crib has a tiny pink blanket with the initials EM, and the other has a light blue one marked J. Fans speculate these might be the initials of the twins' names. Jana's mother, Michelle, is reportedly planning to stay with her for a few weeks after birth to help with the twins. Jana, who's already a mother of 3, has been giving her tips on managing newborns. The Duggar family legacy continues. For years, people wondered what would become of the Duggar family after TLC canceled Counting On. But moments like this, Jana's wedding and pregnancy, remind everyone that their story continues. Even without cameras, this new generation, with its mix of tradition, faith, and quiet modern independence, might just reshape what the Duggar legacy means in the years ahead. Jana's journey, in particular, represents a softer evolution, a balance between faith and individuality. Reflections from Jana herself. In a recent statement shared through a family friend, Jana said, "I spent many years wondering if I'd ever have a family of my own. But now, looking back, I realize God wasn't withholding anything. He was preparing everything. I'm grateful for every moment that brought me here." Those words touched hearts around the world. Her message wasn't just about motherhood. It was about finding peace in the waiting and believing that even silence can be a form of preparation. What's next for Jana and Stephen? The couple is now in full preparation mode for the birth. Their babies are expected around late 2025, and the family has already started planning a small welcome celebration at their Nebraska home. There are rumors that TLC or Amazon might approach them for a special documentary, but insiders say Jana isn't interested. For her, privacy is peace, and peace is priceless. She's content building a quiet life, filled with love, laughter, and little feet running across wooden floors. A love that redefined expectations in a world that often measures success by timelines. Married by 22, kids by 25, Jana Duggar chose a different rhythm. She waited until her mid-30s, listened to her heart, and trusted her faith. Now, that patience has blossomed into the most beautiful chapter of her life. Her love story with Stephen Wissmann isn't about fame or fairy tale. It's about faith, timing, and true partnership together. They've become a symbol of hope, showing that even in families as public and complicated as the Duggars, genuine love still finds its way home. Outro: a new beginning. And as the Duggar family prepares to welcome 2 new little ones into their world, there's a sense that something bigger is happening. Not just another birth, but a renewal, a quiet reminder that sometimes the most beautiful stories take the longest to unfold. Jana Duggar's twin pregnancy is more than just family news. It's a celebration of endurance, grace, and faith rewarded. AS fans across the world send blessings her way. One thing is certain: the girl who waited the longest will soon have the fullest heart. Ending CTA for YouTube video. What do you think about Jana Duggar's twin pregnancy news? Do you believe her story is proof that patience truly pays off? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Duggar family updates and wholesome stories just like this one. Heartbreaking loss. The final days of Jim Bob Duggar, Arkansas, the Duggar family's beloved hometown. The autumn breeze carried a strange stillness that night, as if the world itself had paused to mourn before the tragedy even unfolded. Inside the Duggar home, where laughter and faith had filled every corner for decades, an unsettling silence took over. For months, Jim Bob Duggar, the patriarch of the famous 19 kids and counting family, had been fighting a private battle. Few outside his immediate circle knew the full extent of his illness. What many thought was fatigue or stress from age was something far more serious, an aggressive form of cancer that had spread faster than doctors expected. Jim Bob, ever the man of faith, chose to keep it quiet. "God's got this," he would tell Michelle, his wife of nearly 40 years. But behind his reassuring smile, he was growing weaker by the day. The secret struggle. In early spring, Jim Bob began losing weight rapidly. Michelle urged him to see a doctor, but he brushed it off, saying he just needed rest, prayer, and vitamins. But by the time he finally agreed to medical tests, the diagnosis shattered their world. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Doctors warned the Duggars that the disease was advanced. Yet Jim Bob refused to let despair take hold. He continued to attend church, film occasional family videos, and lead Bible studies. His faith never wavered. "If this is the path the Lord wants me to walk," he said one evening, "then I will walk it with grace." But as the months went on, the pain grew unbearable. Chemotherapy drained his strength, his appetite disappeared, and his once lively energy faded. The man who built one of America's most famous Christian families was slowly slipping away. Michelle's unbreakable devotion. Through every hospital visit, Michelle never left his side. She sat beside his bed, reading scripture aloud and whispering prayers when his body trembled from pain. "You've always been my rock," she told him softly. "Now let me be yours." Their children, scattered across the country with families of their own, began returning home one by one. Jill, Jessa, Jana, Josh, Joanna, and the others reunited under one roof, not for a TV reunion, but for a heartbreaking farewell. Michelle tried to stay strong for her children, but the sight of Jim Bob growing weaker each day broke her spirit. Nurses often found her crying quietly in the hallway, clutching her Bible. One of the younger kids later shared, "Mom kept saying she believed in miracles. But I think deep down she knew Dad was saying goodbye." The final night, on a quiet Sunday night, surrounded by his wife and children, Jim Bob whispered his final words. His voice was faint but steady. "Take care of one another. Keep the faith. The Lord is waiting." Michelle held his hand tightly, refusing to let go even after his breathing slowed. A tear rolled down her cheek as she whispered, "I'll see you soon, my love." Moments later, the heart monitor went silent. The patriarch of the Duggar family, the man who built a household of faith, discipline, and love, was gone. The news breaks. By the next morning, word of Jim Bob's passing spread through Northwest Arkansas and quickly reached the media. Fans who had followed the Duggars for nearly 2 decades were in disbelief. Social media filled with condolences, prayers, and memories of the family's long-running TLC show, "Rest in Peace." Mr. Duggar, one fan wrote, "You may not have been perfect, but you always stood for faith and family." Church members and neighbors came to the Duggar home with flowers and casseroles, comforting the heartbroken family. The house that once echoed with the laughter of 19 children now echoed with grief. Michelle collapses. Just 2 days after Jim Bob's passing, tragedy struck again. During a private family prayer service, Michelle suddenly collapsed. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital. Doctors later revealed she had suffered from extreme exhaustion, dehydration, and emotional shock. Her body simply couldn't take the stress, one family friend told local reporters. She's been at his bedside for months, without rest. When he passed, her heart just gave out. For the next several days, Michelle remained hospitalized, hooked to IVs and monitored closely. Her children rotated shifts by her side, praying for her recovery. Jessa later posted a cryptic message on Instagram, "We've lost our father, but we're not losing our mother. Keep praying." A family in mourning. The funeral was held at the family's local church, where Jim Bob had once taught Sunday school. The pews were filled with relatives, friends, and hundreds of fans who came to pay their respects. Each of the children shared a short memory. Jill recalled how her father taught her to drive. Jed spoke about his father's generosity. Jinger, who had moved away years ago, said through tears, "Dad was strict, but his love was real. He believed in us, even when the world didn't." Michelle, still frail but determined, insisted on speaking. With trembling hands, she held a small Bible and looked up at the crowd. "Jim Bob's greatest wish," she said softly, "was for all of us to live with purpose. He taught us that faith isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance." Her words broke the silence. Even the pastor wiped away tears. The world reacts. Within hours, media outlets from around the world reported the story. Heartbreaking news. Duggar family patriarch Jim Bob passes away after battle with cancer. TLC, the network that once aired 19 Kids and Counting, released an official statement expressing condolences. "Our thoughts are with the Duggar family during this time of immense loss," it read. Jim Bob's legacy of faith and family will never be forgotten. Fans flooded social media with tributes, sharing old clips of the Duggars' family gatherings and words of comfort for Michelle. Even critics of the family who once disagreed with their beliefs or controversies offered sympathy. "This isn't about opinions anymore," one user wrote. "It's about a family losing their husband, father, and leader. May he rest in peace." Life without Jim Bob. Weeks passed. The Duggar home was quieter than ever. Michelle returned from the hospital, weak but determined to keep the family together. She spent most of her time in the prayer room, surrounded by photos of Jim Bob and their children. The older sons took over managing the family's properties and businesses, while the daughters helped care for the younger siblings. But everyone could feel the void. "Dad was the anchor," said John David. "Without him, everything feels different. We still hear his voice in our heads, reminding us to pray, to forgive, to stay humble." Jill's heartfelt post. Weeks later, Jill Duggar-Dillard shared a deeply emotional post on Instagram. "It still doesn't feel real. Dad was always larger than life. A man of conviction, stubborn love, and faith that could move mountains. Watching him suffer was the hardest thing I've ever faced. But knowing he's with Jesus brings peace. I love you forever, Daddy." The post went viral, attracting hundreds of thousands of likes and messages of support from fans around the world. Her sister Jessica commented, "He'd be proud of you, Jill." Of all of us, Michelle's letter to her husband, on what would have been their 41st wedding anniversary. "You were my first love.